I think one of the really interesting things that you're both talking about is how the design of buildings themselves, the shape, the form, the materials you use, can actually make a positive contribution to climate, energy, and carbon, the subject of this session. I mean, with Vertrongnia, your house, it captures wind. You use the pressure, the differential pressure, very cleverly. And with yours, I mean, I'd love to know more about how you detail the joints, that obviously are carrying enormous force in a 2,000-meter tall building, and how you can take the force and reuse it as energy somewhere else.
Yep. Oh, is mine working? Okay, perfect. And again, so much of innovation comes from, understanding the way a building works, right? So when we worked with both the structural engineer and RWDI, and the way we organized the structure, it allowed us to, at every connection point, buildings move, right? Particularly at this size, every building moves. So as opposed to fighting it, where was that comfortable level that we were able to measure to actually, harness the kind of friction, harness the energy that at every joint creates. So don't fight it, kind of find that sweet spot where it's comfortable, which the wind tunnel actually helps you realize, like, what is a comfortable level of movement? But then harness that movement, right? That is free energy in a way. And particularly when you don't try to fight the energy and actually harness the movement, it becomes a positive influence, right?
And of course, you get that energy because you're building high.
Correct.
You wouldn't get it with a low-rise building.
Right.
And also, I think, I don't know about Riyadh, but I remember talking about the Burj in Dubai, which is, I think, still the tallest building in the world and about 40% of the height of what you're talking about.
Right.
But even though it's basically arid, it's so high that it gets condensation to trap water. And I guess that's what you're doing with your water positive thing. Yeah. And Bertrand, you don't really need to worry about water because you've got all these rains. But you need to worry about other things.
Vietnam.
Yeah. But I expect you've got a different issue, and I think the concrete that you're using and the shape of the concrete and the way you're making it into a sculpture material is fascinating. Perhaps you could say a bit more about that?
Pardon?
The concrete.
Concrete what?
Yeah, for the waste to energy plant in particular.
You mean the factory?
Yeah, but the making of it, the what you put into the concrete.
The concrete, we recycle the garbage from other waste to energy plant. When they burn, a lot of things come out, and we use that to make the concrete in the slag factory to hold the building in the plant.
Yeah, because in the UK, concrete is getting a very bad reputation because of carbon, but what you're doing is actually making it out of a recycled material. Which I think
we try to recycle as much as possible.
Yeah. Good. And this luminous tower, do you have a time scale for it?
So unfortunately, we didn't win the competition. Okay. So this is it's a vision that we're presenting. But they, I believe that originally the Crown Prince wanted it completed by 2030. I believe there's probably a delay in that as he's focusing on other.
There's a whole 2030 vision there in Saudi Arabia.
Correct.
Yeah. But do you think what you've designed there could be reusable?
Yeah, completely. And again, we use every one of our projects as a way to learn, right? So. There's an opportunity we could have said, we don't believe that this height of a vertical city is something we believe in. But when we lean into, every opportunity in the project, I totally believe it. And again, as we're entering this kind of new chapter of regenerative thinking, there's a lot to learn when you do it at the scale. And I would even say, even though the movement and the scale of the what you capture is different. Every building, regardless of the size, if you don't fight the environment and understand why systems work within it, natural systems work within it, there's kind of a design responsibility and opportunity in that, right? So that at that scale, really going from, why would you ever pick a place this severe to do something like this? There's opportunity there. When you think about how do you take something that inherently is oppressive and turn it into an architectural component.
And you said you enjoy working in the desert when you were talking about the veterans.
I love it because you see this, you see it in the dunes, you see it in everything survives, finds a way to survive.
Yeah.
Right? So there's magic in there. There's a story.
And you have
in that.
extraordinary evolutionary adaptation to that environment.
Correct.
With the animals and the flora that you get there. And Bertrand, what about working in the jungle, which I guess is the basic condition of Vietnam? Do you have the same sort of resource that comes from being in the jungle that Anthony finds in the desert to use in buildings?
Jungle? In Vietnam, it's concrete jungle.
Okay. Well, yes, of course, with 0.7 square meter of open space.
The lacking of greenery right now is only like a concrete jungle.
Yeah.
So that's why we try to reintroduce the green but a lot of resources like rain, water, sunlight, wind, and then that's why we try to use that for our building.
Well, particularly with the waste to energy plant, I just got little flashes in my mind of Angkor Wat, this extraordinary city in Cambodia that is being gradually reclaimed by the jungle.
Yeah.
You mean in China? Or
no, in Cambodia, Angkor Wat.
Angkor Wat, the tree. That's why a lot of rain and sunlight, so the tree is growing very fast. So I think that really big resources. That's why we try to use that resources to regreen the city.
Sure.
And then for every building in the city should be covered by the green again.
Yeah. And I think you could probably do something similar in Miami because it's a very good climate for growing vegetation.
But the population density in Miami is really less than Ho Chi Minh City. About 10 million population in Ho Chi Minh more than Hanoi. It makes the city become less greenery, very crowded.
Yeah. Well, of course, you've got the whole thing of the suburban city against the dense city, which is obviously the Asian model, and the suburban city is very much the American model, with a few little exceptions. But anyway, well, look, I would like to thank you both very much, and indeed all our speakers over the course of the morning for a really fascinating series of projects, very well explained.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.